Greetings. I am a mechanical reasoning android or M.R.A. I reside within the halls of logic and keep records of all men fighting the good fight against the fembots. Today, I will read to you file 3425. It is the origin of the Ranger number 34. This is the sad tale of his first encounter with a fembot in what humans call a relationship. In the old days, the Ranger was raised to be the whitest of white knights, a protector of female privilege and virtue. He was, for this time, good at what he did, clashing with black knights at a moment's notice. After the death of his father, he took on the burdens of head of the manor, often working late hours and sacrificing all his time to take care of his mother and sister. While he earned no respect and constant hatred from them, he felt his acts were noble and believed if he did more he would earn their approval. It wasn't until his exodus to the grand metropolis known as Dallas he would soon learn his chivalrous campaigns were all in vain. Upon arrival at a new place of employment, he met a fair woman that seemed to take a fancy to him. The Ranger was enthralled to have earned what was known as female approval. Oh, but he would soon find he was well deceived. His joy, he forked over his life to this woman, catering to all her needs and desires. And for a time it was good. Days came when he would question the fact that most of her acquaintances were other males and why she would never acknowledge their relationship in the presence of these men. She assured him that he was just jealous and no wrongdoing was afoot. One day, after completing the day's work tasks, he was informed that she was seen giving a ride to another male. At first, he did not believe it, but did question her later. What seemed to be a simple question had roused her anger. He was told yes she had, and if he don't like he would have to get over it. As the white knight code goes, he assumed he had done something wrong in asking. He called and apologized and swore never to doubt her actions again. Despite this, an ache somewhere inside began to gnaw at him. Days turned into months and the Ranger went on. Throughout the course of this romance he attributed all ills or problems to himself. He began to wonder why they had never had intercourse or even gone on a formal date. She seemed to make all her time free for the brutes and thugs she always seemed to befriend, but when it came to him an issue always came up. If even the slightest motion of question came upon his face, she lashed out at him brutally. He seemed to notice how she painted him as a fiend among her girlfriends, even overhearing her and her harpies mocking him despite his works. But still, as a true follower of the code of the White Knight, he stood firm, never believing a woman is capable of any wrongdoing a man had not made her do. He began to notice how she seemed to derive pleasure from causing him anguish. She tortured him with her accounts of laying with other females and how she felt women could please her better than men. She seemed to have a great love and admiration to men that treated her poorly, often putting them on a pedestal above him. Sadly, despite this, the Ranger believed if he did more she would love him and give her approval of him. He gave and spent for every holiday and birthday. She never once returned any gratitude for this, often finding the money to spend on other men or women. "Do you think me a whore?" the Harpy Queen often proclaimed, an action used to deflect blame onto the accuser. Through her tirades and rage the ivory warrior stood fast. Soon the approaching day of woman worship drew near. I believe humans call it St. Valentine's Day. The Ranger procured the naughtiest undergarments and reserved a place at a fine dining establishment. He presented the Harpy Queen with her gift. She passively thanked him but told him her mother was sick and could not accompany him tonight. The Ranger stood depressed as all the other times this woman had failed him, but accepted her claim. As he laid in bed, that gnawing feeling crept back to him. Late that night he received an email from an unfamiliar sender. He cautiously opened it. Sheer anger and disgust entered his heart as he saw what was before him. A picture of his supposed woman wearing the gift her had bought her engaged in intercourse with two other men. The message read, "Happy Valentine's Day, bitch." He felt a surge of anger like he had never felt. He collected his feelings and simply forwarded the picture back to her and went to bed. He did not sleep well. Visions of a man in shadow bound by chains haunted him. "Release me," the shadow spoke. "I will show you the real world and unleash your true potential." No, The ranger thought and awoke in a cold sweat. He woke to over 48 emails. The Harpy Queen, caught within her own web of lies and deception, struggled to find a way to explain her actions. "Please," she wrote, "I'm sorry. Don't leave me. I'll do anything." The ranger felt oddly good to make her suffer the way she had made him suffer. A week went by and he avoided her. She sent emails every day begging and he just deleted them all. He felt somehow right disobeying the White Knight Code for once. Unfortunately, the Way of the Ivory would not leave him so easily. She sent him sobbing voicemails of how sorry she was. He agreed to meet with her. She greeted him with a huge hug and cooked dinner topped off with a sloppy blowjob. Overly thankful of his forgiveness, things seemed good for a while, but it was not to last. One day a neighbor had come to the ranger stating some rare items were stolen from his home and if he would keep an eye out for anything. The ranger agreed. This day he went to visit the Harpy Queen in hopes of spending some time together. Upon arriving at her home she seemed nervous and seemed to want him to leave. Assured she was hiding something yet again her barged in. He not only found another man but a collection of stolen items, among them his neighbor's belongings. Angry that she had betrayed him again and with no more than a common thief, had told her he will inform the authorities. She begged him not to, but it was too late. An hour later the police arrived at his home. He was assured they wanted to simply ask him questions. To his surprise, handcuffs were placed on him. They said he had made false allegations against another man and for harassment. Humiliated, the ranger sat in a holding cell downtown. He was informing that the Harpy Queen and her family had all stated that he was apparently trying to break up her new relationship by lying on her new boyfriend. She went on to lie that he had been harassing her for months. Night would fall as he began to question his beliefs about women, and was the White Knight Code truly the right path to follow? Was earning women's approval worth the trouble it has caused him? He saw how disposable he really was and it enraged him. He slept on the bench in jail. He dreamed. The shadow spoke again. "Do you now see? Or must you endure more? Release me." In the dream an eternity must have passed, but the ranger unlocked the chains of the shadow man. He took his hand as he saw his once brilliant white armor turn the darkest of dark, the purest of black. He screamed as he drank of the red elixir that opened his mind to the world. The ranger woke up a different man. Not in any physical sort of way, but inside. In the morning the police released him, having found out the true story and cleared him of any wrongdoing. The ranger walked out to a fresh early morning and an indigo sky. He felt truly free. The ranger did not bother confronting the Harpy Queen, much rather feeling her should almost thank her for helping him see the truth. The burdens of the White Knight no longer on his shoulders. A few days later the Harpy Queen returned claiming she was sorry and did not want the thief to go to jail. He simply told her, "So it was fine that I had to go to jail though." She tried to hug him, he turned away. "Go away," he told her. She grabbed his arm and he turned and struck her across the face. She fell to the ground with a bewildered look upon her face. "This is goodbye," he said. As he turned to walk away he knew he was free. He understood what true freedom was. To no longer accept enslavement as chivalry or nobility, to forge his own path. The Harpy Queen met her demise in the year 2008 at the hands of the worthless male she fought so hard to protect. To this day a new Black Knight walks the earth hunting the very White Knights he once allied himself with. With every defeat he smiles and laughs, for he knows what true freedom is.